Instead of getting it from where somebody else sent it to me, I went to their site and actually printed it, and I couldn't believe what was in it. Now, this document was published in March of 2010. I need y'all to actually document that and understand the importance of that day. On page 34 of the document, you wouldn't believe what's on here. On page 34 of this document, I need, under hack attack, page 34. And this document was made in March 2010. I need you to read under hack attack what it says there.
It says hack attack. An economically unstable and shock-prone world in which governments weaken, criminals thrive, and dangerous innovations emerge. Devastating shocks like September 11th, the Southeast Asian tsunami of 2004.
Devastating shocks like September 11th, which we know they pulled the towers. That was a theater right before the people, letting them know that I can kill you and there's nothing you can do about it. It had nothing to do with Al-Qaeda, it had nothing to do with bin Laden. Bin Laden was never charged for some Twin Towers. That was the war against the American people. That was the beginning of the war against you. From Satan, the Pentagon, the five-pointed star. And now, don't think that it's just the Pentagon, because brothers and sisters, they have accomplished their satellites out in space. They worship the fallen angels, and they got their satellites in the same course as the fallen angels, watching you. So this weaponry is not just terrestrial or on your terrain. This thing is from space. Finish reading.
The Southeast Asian tsunami of 2004 and the 2010 Haiti earthquake.
And the 2010 Haiti earthquake, read.
Had certainly primed the world for sudden disasters, but no one was.
So it says these things have primed you for certain disasters. So it's getting you used to seeing mass death and not react to it. And in a normal society, if you see mass death, normally it would affect you personally, but not if you are on schedule with their programming. They've given you movies with serious fatalities. They've come up with games for children with high crime and all those things, and shooting and all that, and having you see death and receive it on a virtual level to the point where you've been desensitized. Read.
But no one was prepared for a world in which large-scale catastrophes would occur with such breathtaking frequency.
Go ahead.
The years 2010 to 2020 were dubbed the Doom Decade for good reason.
So they speak it in real time. It says the years 2010 to 2020 were dubbed the what?
The Doom Decade.
So they've already named the Doom Decade that's not even over with yet. 2020 is not here. Read.
For good reason. The 2012 Olympics.
Then it says
bombing,
the 2012 Olympics bombing,
which killed 13,000.
Which killed 13,000. Read.
Was followed closely by an earthquake in Indonesia.
Was followed closely by an earthquake in Indonesia. Now, here's the problem. The 2012 Olympics is not here yet. But it's in a document from the Rockefeller Foundation that was published March 2010. Now, I don't know what's up with this. Okay? I'm just giving you the information as it comes. Now, then they said how many people died in the Indonesia earthquake?
40,000.
40,000. But the Indonesia earthquake haven't happened yet. To let you know that they have control of some of these disasters, the majority of them, are not organic. They're not natural. They're not natural disasters, brothers and sisters. They are digging into the ground under the fault line, causing seismic shifts. They have purposely put nuclear plants on fault lines to radiate people and cause cancer and to kill off many. There's no such thing as safe radiation. This is what Christ was warning us against. Earthquakes in diverse places. He was telling us they will be using these weapons against his elect in the last days. Not earthquakes coming organically that the Most High is creating, that Satan and his military and his world army is using against those who can see, and to depopulate the earth and to stop the children of Israel from rising as a people. Read on.
It says, a tsunami that almost wiped out Nicaragua.
Then after that, a tsunami that will wipe out Nicaragua. Or you thought the tsunami in Japan was organic? So happened to be water to come right there on a power plant that was on a fault line? You thought that was natural? And Japan at the same time was fighting against the UN's attack or their allegiance against the Middle East? It's not organic. They have the weaponry. Within the last year, there have been seismic activity all on the east coast of America. Loud explosions that your news would come on and say, well, listen, that ain't nothing. That was just, we don't know what it was. They're blowing things underground, causing seismic activity. They will destroy the fault line, the Madrid fault line within the United States. They will. What's after that?
And the onset of the West China famine, caused by a once-in-a-millennium drought linked to climate change.
Climate change. They know that climate change is a joke. They know it's a bold-faced lie. Read.
Not surprisingly, this opening series of deadly and synchronous catastrophes, there were more, put enormous pressure on already overstressed global economy that had entered the decade still in recession. Massive humanitarian relief efforts cost vast sums of money, but the primary sources from aid agencies to developed world governments had to run out of funds to offer. Most nation states could no longer afford their locked-in cost, let alone respond to increased citizen demands for more security, more healthcare coverage, more social programs and services, and more infrastructure repair. In 2014, when mudslides in Lima buried thousands.
That didn't happen yet. I hope you all are documenting this. I hope you're going to ROCKEFELLER.org and downloading this and printing this. Because why? Now that they know we know it's there, 9 times out of 10, and probably in a week or so, it'll be off of there. It's okay for their professors to know what they're doing to us. But you poor people are not supposed to know that, okay? You're supposed to be good slaves. They need you on crack somewhere. All right? With no knowledge of nothing and thinking that everything is fine. There's no one doing anything against you. Everything is fine. Crack cocaine didn't have nothing to do with the CIA bringing it in there. Okay? The drugs just naturally pop up in neighborhoods in which you can't even grow carrots in. Everything is fine. There's no plan against you. Wake up. Read.
Only minimal help trickled in, prompting the Economist headline, "Is the planet finally bankrupt?" These dire circumstances forced tough trade-offs. In 2015, the U.S. relocated a large share of its defense spending to domestic concerns, pulling out of Afghanistan, where the resurgent Taliban seized power once again. In Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa, more and more nation-states lost control of their public finances.
I can't even go through all this, but it also speaks of a flood that's going to flood in New York. It's going to come through and just sweep and destroy New York. It talks about that in this document, that they got to prepare for a flood in New York. that will flood the tunnels and will destroy all the areas near the Hudson River. But the thing that jumped out at me, it's so much in here. These criminals that's under Herod the Great, that are under Satan, that are looking to destroy and kill our people. Now, there's nothing we can do against them because this is their time. The Most High tell us, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So they're going to do what they're going to do, irregardless of our opposition and whether or not we agree or disagree with them. We starkly disagree with them, but ain't nothing we can do because they are in power under Satan. Satan is their God. Only thing we can do is link into a higher and turn to Yeshua and come together in the spirit of truth and love. And pray that the Most High spare us through this. Okay? And also bring forth the children of Jacob who will one day receive the promises. As they try to exterminate us, we need to bring children forth. Okay? So I wanted to bring that out to show you the information is there. I'm sorry it took us an hour and a half just to get set up based on the censorship. YouTube have blocked our computer. I don't even want to tell you what it took for us to get on Ustream today. All right. It took us an hour and a half just to stream today. So that's being blocked. But what I'm going to do for the sake of those who are not in our class right now, who didn't come into the Sabbath class, we're going to record this immediately. We're going to save it immediately. And then after we save it, we're going to upload it to YouTube at A Gathering 144. And you think some editing need to be done to this first?
Yeah. Taking at least a week. It's a lot of work.
A week?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it up straight like it is. Let's just
Okay, I can put it up and I'll make an edit version.
make an edit version later. So this is what we want to do, okay? Let's take this, give it a good introduction, and that's it. A good introduction, you know what I mean? Something with a watermark on it, with links on how to get our video someplace else, right? Cut it up into 15-minute increments so it can be uploaded on the playlist, and just put it up there. Is that good? The water. Okay, and I'm going to say, brothers and sisters, you all stay safe. We're going to turn this over to Elder Gabar. But before I do that, understand that the scripture says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. This is not to get you in fear, but to have you be aware of what's going on. And understand it's the truth and that it was foretold according to scripture. And that you believe in the Most High, a higher. And you believe in Yeshua. And don't go for the games of distraction that Satan would like to use as a divisive tool so that we don't understand who the real enemy is. Don't go for all the distractions in the news and the hating each other and fighting against each other and focusing on things that will not value you going forward. Link it to the Most High, link into Christ, and come together. And with that, I'm going to say shalom and may the Most High be with you all. And I'll open it up for questions for the next 10 minutes, and then I'll turn it over to Elder Gabar in New York. All right? So let me save this so that nothing happens to this. Okay. For those who don't know the history of the Olympics, I wanted to put that out there, and we can also add this on the piece of it. Is that there was a war of the Titans at Mount Olympus after the judgment of the fallen angels, in which the majority of them died in war before the flood. And that's where they get this mythology war of children of gods and demigods in Mount Olympus. So what they did was they had this so-called burning torch that can never go out from, believe it or not, this torch burns throughout its duration. So even though there's not an Olympics, this torch is still burning.